2023 Grand Design Momentum. We have an MPS 4500 that we're going to service today. We're going to get the oil changed out and get this thing ready to go. I got about 15 hours on it, and where I'm going, I haven't really used the generator much because the 2 times that I used my travel trailer so far, I've had electric. So the place I'm going to go in a couple weeks is in Indiana. We're going to do some dry camping, so we're going to need the generator to be in top working condition. So what I'm going to do is change that oil. It says the owner's manual says to change it in the first month or 20 hours. I've had it for 7. I didn't really feel the need to change it, but anyway, for that matter, we're going to go ahead and get that done today. We're going to take the plate off, but first I'm going to start the engine and warm it up. That way all of the sediment that's inside the engine comes out. But my first step was leveling the trailer to make sure everything comes out, and there's actually the crankcase is level, because some people are not putting in the required amount. They're just putting in 1 quart or barely a quart. I don't want that to happen. So if there's any deviation from level whenever you're running the engine, moving forward from here, I want the thing to be at the top level. But anyway, leveled my trailer side to side, front to back, so we should be good to go. I'm going to go ahead and take the thing off the bottom, get this thing started, and we're going to get this thing serviced. Okay, there's 2 ways you can basically get to the drain plug. I've got this set up, which is an extension with a snap-on socket, wobble, and a 17 mil socket. I got a semi-deep here, but you can easily get to the drain plug this way, or you can go underneath with a 17 millimeter gear wrench. You can easily get that loose and break it free, and then get the oil drain started. So it's not real hot. It's just warm enough, especially the exhaust. I'm going to be underneath side. I didn't want the exhaust real hot. I just got it warm enough just to circulate the engine oil. But that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get the oil drained. Well, I went ahead and got this oil changed. It is just a little black. It's not too bad with 15 hours worth, but I get a flashlight and take a look back there, and a little bit with my hand, put it on my finger, and you can see there's some metallic metal in there. So what I'm going to do, just to my anal nature here, I've got some old some residual Honda oil that I'm going to use just to kind of flush it out a little bit, just to get the rest of that metallic stuff out. I wouldn't call it a flush, but just kind of put some fresh oil in there just to get that out of there. And then I'm going to let that finish draining off. I didn't put a lot in there, just enough to kind of get that other oil out of there and some of the other metallic oil out. Yeah, it's flowing good now. Looks good here. Well, it's all drained out, and they've had definitely a little bit of metallic content in there. It looked a little bit sparkly, but it really didn't make that a heck of a lot of mess. It came right out the hole just like the engineers planned, which is not something that's very typical. I did, however, have some extra Honda oil, some residual oil. It was not a full quart, just like a quarter of a quart. And then just to get the rest of that stuff out of there, the sparkle out of that oil that was left in there, some residual in the crankcase, I just kind of poured some in, just kind of let it flow back out, and not starting it, not any of that. Didn't start it, just kind of flushed it a little bit. Just wanted to get most of that metallic content out of that oil, and letting that finalize, finish draining. But it's pretty straightforward. It's not hard to do at all. It's probably, I've probably been out here 15 minutes tops. I mean, if you really had to do this outside, like when you're during camping, it's really not that hard. It's really easy. But you know, it's just trying not to make a mess is probably the majority of it. Yeah. Who wants to take an oil drain pan with them? Not me. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna come back and get this thing closed up and get some oil in it and be good to go here in a little bit. Well, that's a wrap for the 25G. Get this 4500 MPS or MPS 4500 service. Basically, there's some rubber grommets here. You don't want to saturate with oil. I put some rags down there on the inside. There's like a double plate, like this part of the housing here. You don't want all that saturated. But another maintenance tip here: whenever you're storing this thing, the trailer, and you're not using it, you know, weekly or I'd say monthly, that you're not using it, you definitely need to pull the cylinder through up to the compression stroke, and there it is right there. It became a little bit hard to pull. That's the compression stroke. You want to at least meet the cylinder, get to the cylinder up to the compression stroke. It closes the intake and the exhaust valves, and it just prevents all that moisture, outside air, to get up from coming up into the cylinder and making that a complete rust bucket. So that being said, you can also pull the spark plug, and you can put some Yama lube in there with a straw. Just spray some in there, pull it through the compression stroke. You're not going to feel any resistance because the spark plug's out, of course, but you can pull that a couple of times, spray some more in there, pull that a couple of times. What you're doing is you're coating the cylinder with oil. Back in my jet ski days, it's very much so something that you have to do on a marine engine, especially jet skis, being in the water and everything, being around water. But anyway, that's a wrap. It basically took just right at a quart, even with my trailer level and everything. So yeah, the MPS 4500. I know the new trailers, the new 25G comes with a 5500. I don't know why. This thing is more economical than the 5500. Anyway, that being said, like and subscribe. We'll see you next round.